Hey guys, this is me reading an article that you guys have assigned for lesson 1 in Science 112. You do not have to watch this video, remember, but if you want to follow along while I read, then you are welcome to do that. So this assignment, or this section of this assignment is to help you learn about the desert that we're going to study in this class. And that's the desert we live in. You probably know a lot about this desert because you live here and you've observed things. Um, it's kind of weird in cities, we really change the landscape. Like in cities, you can see a lot of species that humans brought here. So like in my backyard, I have a wisteria plant, and I do not believe that wisteria is native to this area, but I mean, the people who lived here before me planted it. There's Bermuda grass in my backyard, and Bermuda grass is not something that would live in the desert, except for that I'm watering it, and so it lives. So in cities, we find a little bit of a different community of organisms, but if we go out of town at all, or if you live in a house that's close to the desert around Las Cruces, then you're definitely going to be familiar with a lot of these things. So let's go ahead and talk about it. This article is from the National Park Service. So they're in charge of all of the public lands that are parks in our country. And so they have a lot of good information for you guys to look at when you're talking about a cool region in the country like our desert. Chihuahuan Desert Ecoregion, a diverse desert. Shared by two nations, the Chihuahuan Desert ecoregion is isolated from adjacent regions by two mountain ranges, the Sierra Madre Occidental to the west and the Sierra Madre Oriental to the east. About 9,000 years ago, this area was wetter and the mountain slopes were dominated by forests. As the area became more dry, species experienced isolation, differentiation, and sometimes extinction, which led to the unique Chihuahuan flora and fauna of today. Deserts, by their very name, are seldom regarded as important reservoirs of biological diversity. But some deserts are extraordinarily rich in species, rare plants and animals, specialized habitats, and unique biological communities. The Chihuahuan Desert is considered the most diverse desert in the Western Hemisphere and one of the most diverse arid regions in the world. Unfortunately, the Chihuahuan Desert ecoregion is also one of the most endangered regions of the world. Overgrazing, water depletion and diversion, changes in the fire regime, urbanization, increases in agricultural and resource extraction activities, invasive exotic species, and over-collecting of native plants and animals are among the greatest threats to biodiversity in this ecoregion. Location. The Chihuahuan Desert ecoregion covers nearly 647,500 square kilometers, with over 90% of its area in the nation of Mexico. It is the largest desert in North America, extending nearly 1,500 kilometers from south of Albuquerque, New Mexico, to 250 kilometers north of Mexico City. Parts of the Mexican states of... Oh, I just had a little sneezing fit. Sorry. Okay, so where was I? New Mexico to 250 kilometers north of Mexico City. Parts of the Mexican states of Chihuahua, Coahuila, Durango, Zacatecas, Nuevo León, and San Luis Potosi. I don't know if I said that last one right. As well as the southeastern corner of Arizona and large parts of New Mexico and the Trans-Pecos region of Texas lie within the Chihuahuan Desert ecoregion. So basically, if you like drive from here to El Paso, you're looking the whole entire time at the Chihuahuan Desert. Just so you know, it's named after the state of Chihuahua, and Chihuahua City is like, I don't know, I think it's like somewhere right here, so it's also in this desert. Climate and topography. So topography means, what does the earth look like? What does the ground look like? The Chihuahuan Desert differs from the Sonoran and Mojave deserts because it receives more summer rain during monsoon thunderstorms and has colder winters. The climate includes hot summers and cool to cold, dry winters. Annual precipitation ranges from 150 to 500 milliliters. or it says millimeters, but it means to say milliliters. Approximately 6 to 20 inches, with a large part of the rain falling in the form of monsoonal rains during the summer months. It's supposed to be raining right now, and it just isn't. The basin and the range topography of the Chihuahuan Desert consists of broad desert valleys, which we call basins. These are bordered by terraces, mesas, and mountains. So basically, the basin is going to be like the lower part where the river is, and then as you go out from the river, the elevation is going to increase into a mountain or some kind of mesa. Salt lakes or playas can form because rainwater drains internally in each of these closed basins. Dune fields composed of quartz or gypsum sand are also common. So if you've ever driven to Alamogordo before, you know how so if you're in Las Cruces and you keep going downhill from Las Montanas, eventually you get to the river, and then if you go towards the mountains, you go up into the mountains, and then you come back down, and you're going down back into a basin, and then what's on the other side of Alamogordo? Mountains. So that's basically this basin and range landform that we live on. So it's a mountain range and there's a valley in between it, a mountain range or something high. It doesn't always have to be a mountain range, it just has to be higher elevation. The gypsum sand is talking about white sands, which is of course gorgeous. Okay, flora and fauna. So flora and fauna is a fun science word that used to be used a lot. Like if you read books, if you read books that are classic, a lot of times they'll talk about flora and fauna. I think, unless I'm crazy, that in one of those Disney movies with a princess, Sleeping Beauty. In Sleeping Beauty, aren't two of the little fairies named Flora and Fauna? I think they are. But flora is like the plants in an area, and then fauna would be like the animals. So this is going to describe our plants and animals here. Those are good biology terms to know. The eastern boundary of the Chihuahuan Desert is one of the oldest and richest centers of plant evolution on the North American continent. A wide variety of vegetation communities are present in the ecoregion, ranging from desert shrublands at lower elevations to conifer woodlands at the highest elevation. So right here is talking about like if you go right out of town, then you get like creosote bushes and yuccas and cacti and ocotillos and stuff. But then if you go up into the mountains, you start getting a lot more trees. So that's what that's talking about there. Like if you go to like Aguirre Springs, if you've ever been there, that's more trees because it's at a higher elevation. The Chihuahuan Desert boasts as many as 3,500 plant species, including nearly a quarter of the world's cactus species. Approximately 1,000 of the plant species grow only in this ecoregion. So that means 1,000 of the plants-ish that we have here in our desert only grow here. They don't grow anywhere else in the world. Some distinctive habitat types in the Chihuahuan Desert include yucca, woodlands, playa, gypsum dunes, and a diverse array of freshwater habitats. Vast deserts and grasslands, and a wide variety of yuccas and agaves, including many endemic species, also make this desert extremely unique. Endemic is a really good word for talking about biology. So endemic means native to this land. So when we say it's native to a certain land, we mean like it evolved there. That's where it lives. That's where it came from. So a lot of the things that we have in this desert are endemic to our desert. They evolved here and they only exist here, which I think is pretty cool. It's like Las Montañas students only exist at Las Montañas, like they're cool there. I feel like it's kind of like that. Okay, the Chihuahuan Desert is home to more than 170 species of amphibians and reptiles. At least 18 of these species are endemic to the ecoregion. Remember what endemic means? Native, evolved there. There are a surprisingly large number of endemic fish that occur in the Chihuahuan Desert as well. Nearly half of the 110 fish species in the ecoregion are either endemic or limited distribution. Most of them are relic species found only in isolated springs and in the closed basins. So that means like they don't go from range to range. They're only in one basin and they're kind of trapped there because there's no connection of the water bodies into different basins. The Chihuahuan Desert supports a large number of wide-ranging mammals, more than 130 species, like the mule deer, pronghorn, jaguar. I don't know why we say jaguar, because look at it. It's jaguar. Javelina, and gray fox. It harbors North America's largest remaining black-tailed prairie dog complex on the continent and the only populations of the endemic Mexican prairie dog. Historically, the Chihuahuan Desert was one of the few ecoregions where grizzly bears, wolves, and jaguars could be found in the same locality. Several sites still retain remaining complement of larger vertebrates, including mountain lions, jaguars, and golden eagles. The ecoregion supports about 400 bird species comprised of mostly widespread species with a few endemics. The Chihuahuan Desert grasslands serve as a wintering ground for a large proportion of North American Great Plains birds, including a number of significantly declining species such as the mountain plover, ferruginous hawk, and Bayard's sparrow. Neotropical migratory birds utilize the riparian corridors along the Pecos and Rio Grande rivers. Riparian means right along the river. So in a riparian zone, even though like we have the desert, if you go close to where the river is, there's like a lot more plants and stuff there. That's a riparian zone, just so you guys know. There's always a lot of vocabulary in science classes. Okay, so that was the article. You are going to need to write a short 5-sentence paragraph about this ecoregion. So if you want to watch this video again and follow along, then you could do that, and you could write down like a sentence about the diversity of this desert, a sentence about where it is, a sentence about the climate and topography, a sentence about the animals and plants that live here. So you can totally do that. I don't really want the paragraph to be longer than that because I really want you to summarize. I don't want you to just copy things out of the article. I want you to listen to it or read it and then think like, okay, well, what do I know about the diversity of the Chihuahuan Desert? Well, I remember that it said that it has a lot of diversity. So that could be something I write down. So anyways, what do I remember about the location? Where is it? What do I remember about the climate and topography? You don't have to say everything about that. Just what do you remember about that topic? All right, I hope you have a good day. Call me if you need any help on this. I'm available like at all times, and nobody's calling me and asking me for help. So please do it. That's like the funnest part of my day is helping you guys. So please call me. Bye.